So in this video, we're going to take a look at how to find the volume of a triangular prism. But before we do this, we just want to make sure we understand the concept of what a prism is and a general idea of how we can find volume of a prism. So a prism is something with a constant cross-section. So for example, a cylinder is a special type of a prism because if I chop it in any place, here or here, with a straight sort of chop, then I will always have that same pattern through it, in this case a circle. A triangular prism, which we're going to focus on today, is exactly the same. If I chop it anywhere along the length of the triangular prism, I'm always going to have that same triangle. But my prism doesn't have to even be a regular shape. It could just be a shape that we make up, as long as it is the same cross-section through it. Okay, in this case, a kind of figure eight sort of situation. That is a prism too. Now, we saw with cuboids, which again, it's a sort of prism, that if we knew the area of the front, we could just kind of count back and sort of count how many of those areas we have to work out the total volume of the shape. And it's the same principle here. All we've got to do for any prism is to work out the area of the cross-section. Now, if we work out the area of that cross-section and multiply it by that length, we're going to have a calculation of the volume. So we do area of the cross-section, and we're going to multiply that, right, by the length of the shape. And I mean by how far back it goes. That's going to be our general idea. Okay, so now let's apply this to our triangular prisms. So in this particular example, we are given that area of the front, right? That cross-section area. It's 10 centimeters squared. No need for any calculations. Great. So now we've got to find the volume, and it says that if in the first case, if L is 5, so that means that this length here is 5 centimeters. Great. So we just have to do 10 times 5, which is 50 centimeters cubed. In the second example, we're saying, well, okay, this time it's 2 meters. So we got a slight problem here because this length is in meters, but our original area is in centimeters squared. Now, we can't have one thing in centimeters squared and one thing in meters. So let's change our 2 meters to its centimeter equivalent, which is 200 centimeters. And now we can do this. We can say that 200 multiplied by 10 is 2,000. So we've got 2,000 centimeters cubed. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Now, in this case, we don't have the area of the cross-section. So we're going to have to use our triangle formula to work it out. So to work out the area of this front triangle, we need to do 4 times 6 divided by 2. 4 times 6 is 24, and we divide that by 2, we're going to get 12 centimeters squared. So that is our cross-sectional area. So of course, to get the volume of the triangular prism, we're going to need to get our 12, and we're going to need to multiply that by the depth or the length, and that is of course 8. So 12 times 8 is 96 centimeters cubed. Now, in this case, we're going to have to think quite carefully about how to do this. It says that the triangular prism, it has a volume already. We know what that is. It's 82 centimeters cubed. Calculate the area of the shaded part of the prism. So we know that the answer, when we worked out the cross-section area, let's write that down, cross-section. Okay, when it was multiplied by that 5, that length, we ended up with an answer of 82. So we've got to work this backwards to try to think what was multiplied by that 5 to give us that specific volume. Well, we can do that by knowing that multiplication and division are opposites. So if I take the 82 and I divide it by 5, then we are going to have what was originally multiplied by 5 to get 82. So I'm going to use short division to do this, but you can use any method you like. 5s into 8 goes once with a remainder of 3. 5s into 32 is 6 with a remainder of 2. 5s into 20 is 4. We've got no remainder left, so we're finished. So our area is going to be 16.4 centimeters squared. Okay, I hope that helps you to understand what a prism is, how to calculate its volume, and in particular, how to calculate the volume of a triangular prism.